Hello, hello, hello.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
All right, what's going on, Robert?
Man, we're rocking and rolling. Back at it. Back at it
Okay,
another
okay.
day. So,
Welcome, everybody. This is our Saturday show, The Watchdogs. The Watchdogs is the show that we bring on at the end of the week so we can highlight those important issues that happen throughout the week across the local, state, and national landscape.
hmm
Uh, we are probably expanding to more hosts pretty soon. Right now, it's me and Robert, and we'll bring you whatever we have to bring you. Good morning, Sonia Stanley in Atlanta, Georgia.
oh,
Good
wonderful,
morning.
wonderful.
Y'all are free to call in and ask us any questions on the topics. Our topics today is trolls, holes, and
And
poles.
poll.
Now, holes is HOLLDS. Okay, don't y'all think it's HOES. Holes, there you
That's
go. That's what.
another topic. That's another Saturday.
Yeah, it's another Saturday for that one, the other one. So what's going on, Robert?
Hey, man, we just, we're ready to dive into the topic. And, you know, as we think about it, let me kind of give context really quick. When we think about trolls, I think most of us, oh my goodness, the
They go one
superstar.
there.
I mean, he just jumped right in. That's a superstar move right there.
I'm not a troll, but this might be a
You
troll
know what?
right
That
here.
was right on time when I said
I'm
troll.
just saying.
Boom.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Hey, while we on the subject, I just want before we get into our subject matters and our issues, I just want to make sure that we know we're gonna talk about the best. I know y'all two out there in Garden City gonna rep Groves out of Rebels, but the baddest school was right down the street
PHS,
from y'all, less than a
PHS,
mile, and
black
that
and
was
gold.
That's
the
it, bro.
Wolverines of Tompkins. Huh?
Black and gold, baby.
We rebels here.
Blue
Hey,
and white. But today,
I
and
can't argue with
today
that.
only, in memoriam of the Jenkins High Warriors, I have worn the Warriors shirt.
Lord.
Look
Ah!
at that.
You see,
Crystal falling out in the
y'all
studio.
SBK. Did y'all see that?
Oh,
Did y'all see that? Do y'all see that?
I'm gonna leave this show. I'm gonna leave this show.
I tell you one thing.
Hey, just because they're tearing the school down.
Oh,
Mm, mm, mm. Oh, that's your celebration.
Yeah.
Oh man.
and here go Councilwoman Morris. She around here talking about that. Talking about that. Oh yeah, they tearing it down.
y'all know
Yeah.
how you feel as PHS when they tore down our establishment.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what they build in that. See, they want to always talk about Tompkins Wolverines and that they tore down the school,
Right.
and that now it's Woodville Tompkins. Tompkins don't exist no more, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm aware today, Jamal, because a good friend of mine gave me this for my birthday.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
happy birthday from the good friend. When you get through showing the good friend, take it off and get your rebel t-shirt.
Ain't that so? Ain't
Good
that something?
morning, Rick. Good morning,
I'm
Gabrielle.
just
Green
glad
and
that
white
Lord. There
Christmas.
you
all
go.
these
Green and white. There you go.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Hey,
You and Gabrielle got something in common with that green and white.
look here. As long as they know.
It's
But
blue and white.
Brother Teray, good to have you. Good to
You
have
can
you.
do
So I'm sure you know the topic: trolls, holes, HOLDS, and poles. And so
Yeah, he
um,
just stopped in. He just stopped in. I don't know whether he want to stay because he out there at the garden at the giveaway.
look,
Uh,
Yeah. So, and I got my bags too from the garden.
mm,
Pokey Harris made sure I got one for my mama too. So I just
oh,
made sure I was this up for me, but Pokey Harris made sure. But
oh,
yeah, I'm gonna be on with y'all for a bit. You know,
okay,
okay,
trolls and
okay,
hoes.
okay.
all right.
You want for Julius too. So now I got so I got to run over to Fort Whitworth. I guess I get a bag for him too.
Look here. No, he need a check. He don't need. He need a financial contribution.
That's right.
I know he's your best
No,
good friend, but he
and
said he
look,
don't want the bag. He wants the money.
he can even do a recurring gift of $50 a week.
They're
Look at
giving
God.
out. Don't y'all forget, if you're in that area, go out there to get the fruits and vegetables that they have out there to give away. They got peas, corn.
Yeah,
The watermelons are not quite yet ready yet. They got tomatoes. They got some long green banana peppers that I picked the other day.
Hmm.
So go out there. They got all kind of stuff, peas, and they're giving it away as free. So go out there. You got Jamal Torre already out there getting his. You got people lined up. You got cars coming. Um, Go out there and get those vegetables. See those big old bags he got there of
Wow, that's pretty good.
vegetables?
And you know what? That gave me an idea for a show one day to talk about how we should be doing more of that in our communities. But of course, we don't want to get off topic. So, if you could kind of kick us off when you talk about trolls, I think we all understand what that looks like. Basically, cyberbullies are individuals who get on social media and are antagonistic. So, kind of lead us off in that discussion.
Well, we have a bunch of people that we have noticed that are trolling everybody's pages, commenting so that they can keep the pressure off of those that are in leadership that are not doing their job. And these people are trolling everybody's pages who they know are critical of these leaders that are not governing efficiently or for the people. And we just wanted to make sure that we let them know that we know who you all are, we know what you all are doing, and that it needs to you need to look at it from a different perspective, because what we're doing is trying to bring enlightenment to the people about issues concerning our community, and that we're bringing light that the people that should be helping us are hindering us. That's all it is. And these people get on and they defend the people that are hurting the community, or are not letting the community move forward and progress.
Now, in you all's opinion, and Teray, definitely jump in. Do you all think that these individuals are coming with facts, or, this is my friend, this is a person I like, this is a person that did something for me, and I'm just going to defend them regardless?
well, I'll just say it is a combination of their all, my brother. That again, sometimes it's based on friendships. They were schoolmates, they were classmates, they were church members, they are family members, they are at the same neighborhood, and they have this misguided sense of loyalty. They have this misguided sense of loyalty. In addition, with regard to this, then they also have gotten favors from some of these people, so they go and they are quiet about it, or they don't want to say anything, because then they think that that person has been their benefactor, and that if they speak the truth, then their benefactor is no longer going to support them. Then what happened? They're going to say the person is their friend. And that, I'll share this with you. I had a conversation with someone, African American, and I talked about, I said, one of the issues that we have in general in this country, is not just Savannah, is the discussion of race, and with regards to equity, with regards to race, because race is a part of everything. It permeates our entire society. So
Right.
what happens sometimes, it is for African Americans in particular, because I can say the same things for Asians and Latinos and other people, but then in particular African Americans, we at times are fearful to have a real conversation with our Caucasian friends. We call them our friends, but we're afraid to have the real conversations. And I say that that person really is your friend when you can discuss these issues that are going on that pertain to African Americans, and you don't have to make excuses. Some of them make excuses for these people with regards to the actions, because they are afraid, because they're no longer going to be their friend. They are never your friend if you cannot speak the truth to them. Anyone is your friend. If they're your friend, then you can have an honest conversation. And this person says, Jamal, I have plenty of Caucasian friends, and even my wife at times has to tell me, he's African American, to say, wow, you got down on. They say, but we're friends, so they understand that. And so their friends listen to them, and they then go and say, I don't know what it means to be black, and you gave me a perspective, because initially they weren't thinking a certain way. And some of our elected officials here, their behaviors, how they function, it goes to show me at times that they are more concerned about how Caucasians feel about a situation as opposed to telling them the truth about what's really going on.
You summed it up. You summed it up. You summed it up. I thought that was a caller, but that looked like it was a telemarketer. Because we got you can call in and ask us anything today on any of these subjects if y'all want to. We'll be right here answering as many questions as we can, as truthfully as we can.
And Brother Hall and Brother Bryant, just to share this with you, we will never get anything rectified as long as we're not honest. If we cannot have an honest dialogue, we will never get things rectified. We might move a smidgen, but guess what? That smidgen will not be able to be the tidal wave to bring about change. That smidgen will still allow people to still suffer and be in pain because some of us were afraid, or we did not want to offend our friends, our family members, or people within our social strata. And what is so sad in Savannah, in Chatham County, there has always been a group of black people in this county right here. And again, it's not unique to us, but we've seen this, that have always been about minimizing the voices and the hopes and the ideals of the people here. And I said to folks, when are we going to finally recognize this and stop going along? Because the history is right there for us to see it. But we tend to ignore it. And then when we have the contemporary people around us today, it's like we forget. I'm not saying no. And sometimes those folks, that group of people, bank on us forgetting. And I was stunned when I had a minister say to me something about a certain social strata of people here that he's not into the conspiracy thinking. But when he said it, I was like, oh my God. Now, some of us been talking about this since the 1980s, 1990s, and people say that we're radicals and militants and things like that. So here goes someone else looking at it. He's saying the same exact thing that we were saying about a certain group of people here in Chatham County, black people I'm talking about in particular, who've always been the voices for Caucasians to tell us to be quiet and to be silent about having equity in this city and in this county. It is shameful. They have been here, and what I realized, they later on create another group of them that not come along and do that. It becomes another generation. So I tell folks, this ain't no generational battle right here. This is a long-term battle in general with regards to a school of thought. It's a school of thought amongst them.
Oh yeah. It's almost like, you know, I was in Atlanta a few days this week, and we got into a conversation about how people get into these cliques, like you just mentioned, and you know, that only serves no one. You know, I mean, we're here to serve the people, especially when you're in elected office. And when you start clicking off and, oh, I know this person because they've done this and this and this, and they got this long record of doing these wonderful things, but at the end of the day, do they know how to lead on that particular stage at that particular moment?
That's right.
And if they don't, I mean, you have people that will follow. It's almost like the Trump followers. They will follow him into a 24-foot pool and drown. And then realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, all the Trump followers will come after me now.
They will come after you.
Look, they almost got me when John Ossoff came that time. I'm telling you.
John McMaster says I think one good thing from Van's administration is his actions have brought many whites and blacks together against his policies. That is absolutely correct. What you say, Jamal?
I was gonna say, and that the sad part of this too, and that you all understand this because you all been involved with regards to politics in the operation of the system. It is sad that when we tend to think as elected officials or people who want to run for office or people who support elected officials, that when we tend to think that if Julius Hall or Robert Bryant says something against the alder person, the council person, the senator, the representative, the mayor, the congressman, that it's all personal. I tend to go and look and say that, no, it's not being personal. They're looking at a policy that they disagree with, and they have the right as a citizen, as a person who lives in this country, to be able to express that thought. But then what happened? Everyone begins to think that it's all personal, and then they function like that. And then what happened, then the elected officials tend to go along with having, or excuse me, they have these yes people who are around them who then also cater to that. Like
Yeah,
just with you that Charles Barkley discusses about Michael Jordan saying that 2012 that Michael Jordan had a bunch of yes people around him, that he didn't have good people around him that helped him with regards to his operation of the Charlotte team. And so Michael got mad with that. And guess what? I said to myself, that's how some politicians act also. That again, when you all are saying something, I think as an elected official, I need to say, does Robert Bryant have a point? And now let me go and see if that is correct. And if it's not correct, then let me go give him information to show him why my position is correct. Does Julius Hall have a point with regard to what he's saying? Well, he might have a point, but we might need to tweak it. But instead, we don't do it. It's like a wall, the bam, they just shut it down. So it's like
that's exactly what
nobody.
happens.
It is sad. And then none of us benefit from that. And then the political groupies and the poly whores, they get some little, and again, they get some little visceral, emotional, benefit, something symbolic, and that's all they get. When there's nothing tangible for the communities, for the advancement of the city, of the county, of the state.
That's correct. And we have the same ones pop up. I'm not calling any names today. Y'all see who they are because they pop up on everybody's page. It's almost like the source that we're talking about in our posts calls them and tell them to go to our page. I'm serious. How these people just pop up? This dude, one of the dudes that we were talking with this week, he just popped up out of nowhere. I ain't seen this guy in 2-3 years. All of a sudden he pops up, and then he starts defending the person that we're talking about. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're trolling us. I know I'm being trolled real hard, real hard. I guess they figured what I say is relevant.
But going back to Teray's point in the fact that people can't separate the personal from the business. And when you get all of that tangled up and you can't understand, what the personal piece is and what the business is, we're in a lot of mess. We're in a lot of trouble. What's interesting to me is you have, and it's a segue right into our next part of the discussion, you have individuals who understand your job as an elected official is to engage with the people and to understand what their thoughts are on policy, what their desires are for their area and their region, not to go and represent what you think or what you believe is the right or wrong answer. And I think more and more we're seeing the latter of the two. And, in my personal opinion, your job is to be the voice of the people.
Exactly.
One of the things now that we're seeing in District 5 of Chatham County and the city of Savannah is this idea that we're being bought out and this redevelopment, regentrification. And my question is, well, why isn't this being discussed? What's going on? And for candidates that plan to run for that particular seat, that it requires a different level of thinking and advocacy. And so, when you don't have the right mindset going into these seats, I say sit it out.
And see, what they do is they think that they are the voice. They're supposed to be the collective voice for the people that they represent. And what they do is they tune everybody out. They tune everybody out and they only put their thoughts in. If you go to the people and ask them what they want and listen to them, they'll tell you what they want. Ask them how something, what they want in a particular issue. Ask them what side do they want you to be on, because you're working for them. But see, when we send them to City Hall, to the state, wherever we send them to, they begin to start thinking that they're working for themselves. It's all about them. They become politicians instead of public servants. And that's part of the problem. Like John said, no group is monolithic. We're smart enough to make intelligent distinctions on policy, good and bad. It's not personal. Exactly. It is not personal, people. When we see something, we bring it up for you to think about. You have the right to decide whether you agree or disagree. And we're going to give you our parts or our points so that you can say, okay, well, he makes sense or he don't make sense. Like Brother Jamal say, give it a chance to go through your mind. Don't block it right there before you send it through that chain. So you can say, okay, through the process to say, does it make sense or does it not make sense? Why am I always hopping on this person? You know, um,
That's a valid. Ivan just shared a valid point there. When they
you
start
say that.
all socializing together and they hang out together and it becomes one choir, and then the mindset shifts, like you said a moment ago. They don't think about the people. They think about, oh, okay, what is this group of mine going to support? It's one of the reasons why, I think the next thing we want to talk about is how, we have particular individuals being punished for advocacy. In my opinion, they're advocating, they're listening, they are standing for the people and being punished for that.
Yeah, exactly what's happening. Exactly what's happening. It's just as easy for you. Okay, if you got the strong mayor uh, form of government, it's easy for you to just say, okay, well, put what you want on the agenda. This is what the people elected you for, especially if you all the women at large. At large means the whole city elected you, just like the mayor's position. Then let these people put something on the agenda, the issues that they want on the agenda, and you can vote it up or down. But what it does is hide the fact that you do not want the people to see that you voted down something that benefited them. That's all it is. That's
and
all it
and
is.
and that process right there, that is going to have a chilling effect on folks in the future.
Mm.
That right there set a precedent that if that process continues like that, that's not rescinded, it's going to have a chilling effect, and generations and scores of people here are going to be trying to figure out how did that occur, why did that occur. It occurred because, and people are going to throw this out there because they're going to now use them as a symbol, or say the cause for it, to say, hey, this was done when you all had a entire democratic a democratic city council. This was done under the Democrats. So now when the Republicans are now doing some of this, and see, that's why I tell folks, I say, when you can look at things squarely and you're honest about it, you can assess it. How can we complain about what the Republicans are doing in the state house right now regarding voting rights, and you do the same thing on a micro level with regards to elected officials in the city of Savannah? How can I don't think a lot of people think like that. I'm like, wait a minute, like y'all disconnected from that. That's why I tell people, I try to tell my people, I say, we make those connections. We see the things that others sometimes may miss. And so we got to now bring it to their attention. So we fuss about what they're doing. We applaud Stacey Abrams and everyone else about what they're doing, trying to fight. And what y'all saying, the NAACP trying to fight what's going on now with regards to the second Jim Crow or the third Jim Crowism that's happening. But then guess what? You had a Jim Crow action that also occurred in Savannah that others now, when they get in positions of power, they're going to do that. Imagine if you have a Republican a mayor or a Libertarian mayor who has that same concept. And then now things that y'all all want, regardless of if you are African, Latino, Asian, straight, gay, whatever, and you don't get that stuff on your agenda now, then y'all gonna be pissed off, and they're gonna say, "Oh, you Democrats, you all started this right here."
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, at the end of the day, leadership is about basically discussing the issues and not silencing individuals. And if that is what we are seeing, I question the why. And I question what's the fear in discussing the issue? Isn't that why we put you in that seat in the first place?
There you go. There you go. So these things can be brought up so you can address my issues so I'll know how to vote from now on.
Yeah.
Hey, but they don't want to do it. We gonna move on to the next subject. We finished with the trolls. Uh, where we at now? We with the holes. The
With a D.
hole. It's a hole, not a hole. So that's another show. This is about the hole. And we have two sitting at large city council women in the city of Savannah. They're both barred from entering a city owned building, but all the other council people can go in.
Yeah.
How the hell is that possible? I
That's
don't even
weird.
want to talk about it. Y'all go ahead.
But how can you how though? Like,
Who made the decision to put these
well,
women on the hold?
how can you oppose something like that? Like, who's gonna stand around and wait on, you know what I mean? Does it make sense? Like, oh, let me stand right here and make sure when I see you walk up to this building, who's gonna do that?
Yeah. The guy
Like,
clearly
but
knew who she was, told her he knew who she was, and told her that she couldn't come in the building.
that's called petty.
Yeah. Bernard said he loved my jacket. The oligarchs, Judge John said the oligarchs control 5.5 votes, so being Democrat is very second. 5.5? Oh Lord, I ain't even gonna go into the point five. John said every tough and hard issue Van says he has no jurisdiction. How convenient. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But Jamal,
Yes,
how
sir.
who do you think made this decision to bar these two women from entering that building?
Well, they're saying it was a process that occurred. That Bear with me because I just got bumped off. I'm just trying to get back to you. Bear with me, or I'll come back to you so I can get.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
trying to get to the screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we
let
see
you.
your picture. You coming in clear, but we don't. But your picture's froze, but your voice is coming in clear.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a policy that they've had in place, and that they were saying that, but for the public. But now I think that it becomes a little different when it comes to the elected official and the person who knows. So now my understanding that the mayor did not have any knowledge of that. So it meant that it was some other people who had, I would say, some issue with regards to the council women, our council members, that there's some other people who had the issue, and we need to find out who those people are who have those issues and
Mhm.
begin to have an investigation. I dare say an investigation to then go ahead and then rectify. And then when I say rectify, actually, I want to say reprimand, that they need to be reprimanded for
Mhm.
such, because then that goes to say that even our elected officials do not have any power at all, that they're basically like the citizens. So their voices cannot be heard and should not be heard. And that's being done by another citizen. But I also understand that one of the people who may have a hand in this don't even reside here in Chatham County, that they reside in another county, but they work in Chatham County. So they have the power and they have the ability to deny our elected officials access to a building. Is that not insane? And is that not akin to what happened in Atlanta again, when we look at state troopers taking certain actions based on with regards to the governor, with regards to the new Jim Crowsism that happened here? And that's why I say we don't go and look at it and put it on the fair level to say that if it happened in Atlanta, we're opposed to it. Why should we not be opposed to it in Savannah? And actually, as I share, folks, this should be about national attention right here. As I shared you, Brother Hall, I said that at one time they want us to go through the back door. Now they don't want us to come through the door at all.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. They that's where they started trolling us at when I posted that with the women with the tape over their mouth being silenced. Not only are they being silenced, they're being blocked. And if the people of Savannah sent them the voting people sent them to do a job, and then you're effectively preventing them from doing that job, then that's voter suppression. Because
Absolutely.
we voted to get those people there, and now you're blocking them, so you're suppressing my vote.
That's right. That you're absolutely correct. And
Yeah.
and for me, that is what the concern is. And I'm saying to myself, why are we not clamoring about this? Because that's fair. And so that goes back to what on your first segment topic that you had, Brother Brian, when you like saying, so why these people do this? Because they do it because we sit silent. That is, we sit silent because they are our friends, they are our church members, they are, because again, we sit silent because y'all very topics are all interwoven, actually all connected. So yeah, so we should be up in arms about this. I would say the alternative media should be up in arms about it, but then that goes to show you that they're not concerned. The alternative media. Now I'm let y'all know when I say alternative media, it's the other news stations and stuff like that. I'm saying that right now, ATR and what you all doing, Watchdogs and all that, you are the media. You are the media for us. And the other ones are the alternative media. That they should be up in arms, and this community should be up in arms about that, saying no, and not take it personal that, oh, I don't care for Alderwoman Miller Blakely, so I'm not going to stand up. Guess what? You let that happen to her, and then you might find out a couple of days later it might happen to you, and then there's nobody around to help you.
Better
That's
yet,
correct.
what if
That's
she might be
absolutely correct.
advocating on a policy that's going to benefit you? That's why none of this. I don't get it. It just, so how are they supposed to do their job? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, this goes back even to the whole idea of the whole ethics thing. It's like, you know, get out there and do the work. You know, all of this back and forth and pettiness, and you can't go. It's not doing a thing but bogging us down and putting us further and further back. And so, you know, one of the things I've always thought about is, how about the leader sit down individually with everyone over coffee and let's hash this thing out.
Good look at what's going on in leadership right now.
Oh, go ahead. Now I was talking to the caller. We got a caller on that called in, wanted to give their point of view. Go ahead. Caller,
Hey, this is Keyshawn Housing. I'm just calling in real quick. I'm hearing the words everybody saying. You're right, Professor. You're right. The media, you guys, all things relevant. Keisha's show, Alicia, all the one, Gibson Carter's show, all the woman Blakely show, even better Savannah with John McMaster and Chuck. The stuff you guys are putting out there is inspiring me. You know, to keep doing what we're doing, because with you, the organizers, like myself, like KJ, who you know, we're leading with the 912 group. This is our moment. This is our moment. And you know, I thought about something today. She posted something on Twitter today. And honestly, it was heartbreaking to hear. It's like, what happens? You know, she prepares herself to hear bullets fly whenever she sees a slow car, you know, ride past her. And, you know, it broke my heart because it's people like her that's literally out on the front lines. People always ask, when are the leaders going to come to quote unquote save us? Well, I got two things for you. No one leader is going to just save you. You have to save yourself.
That's right.
And second, when you have people that do come out into the light, who do come out in the spotlight of sorts by way of circumstance or divine timing, and they are continually willing to put themselves out there to fight for the people, to fight the good fight. There are crickets, and whenever they're gone, then you want to say, oh, but she was a good person. She was going to do a lot. Well, her fight, her spirit, our spirit, you need to take advantage of it while it's here, while we're live and in color.
Yes, sir.
We can't wait for anybody else to save us. We have to save ourselves. And I'm talking to everybody, to your listener, to your viewership. I'm talking to everybody, no matter how old you are, how young you are, find your role. What is your role? How are you going to be remembered in this fight? Because we're fighting a good fight. We're fighting for our survival. This is war. If you open your eyes for 5 seconds, stop living in la la land. This is real life. It's getting worse. Life is getting worse if you don't have it noticed. People thought that with Biden coming into office, people thought with the Democrats coming into office, even though it seems like they're spineless as ever. People thought with them coming in, you would see some sort of change. People thought that with Obama. I was not even 9. I was 10 when Obama got elected. I thought so much of the world. I thought we was really changing. I thought the dreams of what Dr. King, what I was taught in school, which by the way was trash in of itself. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to the state government, to the State Board of Education for essentially banning historians, for banning teachers from telling the truth, talking about our history, talking about the effects of what the white peoples of the world have on the black peoples of the world. Thank you, Georgia State Board, for doing that. We ain't forgot about you.
All right. Keyshawn, we're going to have you on the show so you can express those opinions. Probably you can bring Khadijah with you one day, and we can Kiasia with you one day, and so we can hear y'all's point of view, because y'all are young warriors on the front lines now, and I accept your challenge to stand up and to fight the good fight for what is right, and we'll get together. Appreciate you calling in, and thank you for your call, my brother.
I want to address what Keyshawn said, and he named y'all shows, but he ain't said nothing about Ron Tell that. That's one thing. But
it was just a slight.
Right.
Ron Tell that is one of the most important shows on the platform.
But I want, and what I want us to understand, just like when I threw something out there earlier, I said that those people, those trolls that you all know, the trolls come from that line, a group of people, as I said, that social strata of people who've always been out minimizing our voices, and they still continue to lie. What we tend to think with regards to, I'm saying this with regard to people who engage in activism, we tend to think that we're the only ones, that we're the first activists. No, that is not the case. I'm like saying, until you realize that you are part of a continuation of those people who some are still around and who have been out there, then you understand that you have that legacy. That gives you that's the parts of the roots to your trees. I mean, that's part of the roots to the tree of liberation. That's why I'm saying don't isolate what we see right now. Say, well, 912 liberation. But again, that's a continuation of all those who've been fighting. That's why I said we've always had the fighters right here, but we've always had a group of people who've been about minimizing it. And so I don't want anyone to think like this is new. That's not brand new, because now what I was not going to do, and Julius Hall knows me from when we were at Savannah State. And that's why I was throwing it out there right now, and I put it out here on the Watchdogs. There were a group of young people who were 19, 18, 20 years old, 21 years old, who made demands to get rid of a president at Savannah State College, as it was called then, but now called Savannah State University. And guess what those young people did? Those young people marched through Savannah State's campus. They marched through the dormitories of Savannah State against the policies of the Board of Regents. They marched through that, and they were a part of, again, ultimately bringing about that president not leaving. They made a demand. They held a press conference in the student center to demand that the president be gone. Some people were suspended and, expelled from school. They never finished from Savannah State because of those marches. A person who was around at that time, just to throw it out to let y'all know, and part of that conglomerate of young people, his name is Van Johnson.
Yeah.
So that radical element, that militant element has always been there. And prior to that, students at Savannah State, they in fact barricaded the entire campus at one time when it came down to the merger of these, what they thought to be the merger of Savannah State and Armstrong and the changing of the program. Students at Savannah State did that, and the Georgia State Patrol was called in. So we had African-American young people who are marching through the streets of Savannah when you had black people getting shot. So I'm like saying, wait a minute. And then why does some of y'all think Yusuf Shabazz has been so eviscerated, has been so attacked, been so vilified? because of what was happening in the 90s. So I keep saying to people, stop trying to think that you're the new ones. No, you're the continuation of that legacy. And that's what we got to do, because that's why that other group of people tend to think that we don't know our story. And I'm like saying yes, and that's why I'm putting it out there. So the very things y'all talking about, the holes and all of that, guess what? The people who should not be down with the holes are not in office right now. They're in these positions right now. But guess what? They bought over to the other side. And I'm going to throw this out there, and people heard me talk about this. I support the mayor. I believe in the mayor. So for me to have any conversation, it ain't nothing personal about if I have a different view of what his policies are. I don't like everything that Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter has done, Miller Blakely's done, Bryant Lanier has done, Shabazz has done. I'm not like all the things they've done. I've disagreed with some of it. But guess what? That don't impact how we operate on other things. But now other people, I know that when this is done, they get mad and take it all personal. I might say no, because guess what? Who is Jamal Touré? Jamal Touré is consistent, because Jamal Touré is one of the same people that marched through the dormitories at Savannah State and had marched through the streets in Savannah on the Brother Day and the other marches in the city in the 1990s. Ain't nothing changed about me. I'm going to speak up for my people. And so guess what? Now, Keisha, I want you to understand. Guess what? Some of us people have asked me the question. They said, Jamal, you don't be afraid? I said, no, I'm not afraid. You know why I'm not afraid? Because I told them, because you are here. Because if something happened to me, you are here to carry on that legacy. We don't have no fear about death. When you fight for liberation, and that's part of the problem that we tend to get caught up into. Because when you fight for liberation, you don't have no fear of death. Because nobody can do anything to you that has not already been ordained by the Most High. That's why I tell people, we don't fear no man or no woman. We love God. And that's why our job is to fight for our people. So I'm the same person who Julius Hall found at Savannah State in a corner and then say, I not give you this name.
That's right. I lifted you up. I named you. His name was not Jamal Touré at the time. I named him Amir Jamal Touré. I found him in the corner at Savannah State College crying. Van was in that office hiding somewhere doing some work. Victor Cooper was in another corner somewhere. Nadja Enzi was somewhere other way. They all was out there. Sandra McKeithen, all of them was out there at the same time. We used to be out there every day. But anyway, and I named Jamal. I saw so much promise and talent and potential in him that I named him what he is today. I ain't gonna tell y'all what his name was, but he ain't scared to tell y'all it was CL. But anyway. Yeah, I have no problem with Van. I think Van is an awesome dude. I really do. But it's just the way that he governs, I have a real problem with. And yeah, I know people will probably be saying the same thing about me. Should I be the mayor of Fort Wentworth? But I'm here to help the people. It ain't about me. Y'all got to realize it ain't never about me, the things that I do. I don't have much long on this earth. So what I do is forming the path for my legacy for what's coming behind me, my grandchildren. It's not about me. And when people start getting and putting themselves out of the way, then you can have a clear vision that is for the people. Make somebody else's life better. Your life already good. I don't know. I digress.
You digress.
Yeah. Robert.
Look, so we're going to jump in this final part of our discussion. We're talking about the polls and who's on that ballot, and especially when we start looking at places like Bloomingdale and Port Wentworth, Garden City, and some of our statewide offices. So,
Robert, 1 second. We got one call on before we get to the last topic. What's up, caller? You can't be long. Who is it? Caller. That was Jamal Touré's best friend. His show got pushed back until the 18th, I think. The America After Dark. Yes. Caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, they hear you pretty well, caller. You got about 1 minute because we got to get to the next subject, the last subject.
Hello, young man. How y'all doing?
All right.
That's good.
All right.
Let me put the seatbelt on. I got 112 behind me.
Okay. Go ahead and.
Can y'all hear me clear?
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me clear?
Give us what.
I want to say this here. You know, I could not sit in this car and continue to listen to what all y'all saying is right without not be called in. The problem is this. We as black people continue to let people do us all kind of way. Talk about us, say about us, you know, and we just can't get along and we can't support each other at the end of the day. And the same question somebody asked was, am I afraid of my life because I'm always talking and dropping names and telling people about their butt and all that. I said, no, because you know why? God got me. I'm for what's right. I'm for what's right. And I understand y'all say, you know, y'all have certain problems with Van and this. I have a big problem with Van. I don't, and at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I tell you, if I like, I like. If I don't, I don't. At the end of the day, we got a lot of black leaders right here doing a lot of talking. Put up or shut up, or don't say anything, or just move on and let somebody, you know, that's gonna do the right thing, like y'all three gentlemen on this platform now. At the end of the day, case closed.
All right. I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you tuning in and giving us your opinion.
All right, y'all have a good day, bro.
Thank you.
Does he support Herschel V. Jenkins High School?
No, he does not support Herschel V. Jenkins High School. we giving you 1 day. This is Warrior Memorial Day. All right, we give you 1 day. 1 day, just because they tear your school down. All right, we're gonna move on to the last subject. Robert, sorry about that interruption.
No. We love the callers. So yeah, talking about the polls. Who's on that ballot and the statewide election? Where do we begin?
To the poll. Yeah, we got the statewide. We're gonna do local first, or we're gonna go state?
I tell you what. Let's start with this one, which was kind of interesting to me, which is we see Warnock now may have a challenger on the Republican side.
Yeah, he got the Agriculture Commissioner, Gary Black.
Yeah.
So,
you know, it's going to be interesting to me because when you step out on that type of stage, you got to have a name for yourself, and you know, I don't think we've heard too much about agriculture that much in Georgia. So that I don't know.
No, we haven't heard anything. Nobody knows who. I mean, I knew because I met him.
Mm-hmm.
The Agriculture Commissioner. He was here at the Buccaneer Restaurant about a year or so ago at a I don't forgot what it was. You was there, Jamal, when Gary Black came, the Agriculture Commissioner came to the Buccaneer to eat lunch.
No, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I met him that day, but nobody knows who he is. If I didn't meet him that day, I wouldn't know who he is. I didn't know we even had a damn agriculture commissioner.
If you go to your gas station and you see that little inspection sticker, that's the only reason I knew who he was, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
but he stepped in there, and Warnock got to get ready. You know, you don't start running a couple of weeks before. You got to start running for that particular election. You need to start running. It's 2 years away.
I'm not absolutely sure. I can tell you this though, Warnock is not. He does well with fundraising, so you know, unless Gary got a war chest somewhere, it's going to be quite the challenge.
Yeah, well, they need to start doing whatever's going to be done immediately. Even with local elections, I tell everybody 13 months before the election we jump in, and that's the way it starts. So we'll see. But you got Gary Black stepping in on the Republican side, trying to challenge Warnock. So that should let us know he has a challenger. Let's get to work.
Yeah. So let's bring it on down to U.S. House 1 District, the 1st District of Georgia. Any word on that? Who's out there? Who's lining up for that one?
Jamal Torre.
Well, they say Buddy's supposed to be running for the Senate, possibly.
if Buddy probably will step back if Gary Black got in. He said he wasn't. He was waiting to see whether Herschel Walker and anybody else got in, prominent Republicans. I don't hold Gary Black as a prominent Republican because nobody don't know who the hell he is. But we'll see on the Democratic side. You got Joyce Griggs,
Mm-hmm.
and Joyce gave him a hell of a fight last time round, and we'll see who else jumps into the race from the Democratic side.
Al Scott.
Al Scott, yeah, I forgot about that. Al might want to jump in. He might want to give us his service again.
Yo, so what's up with your boy Vernon? What's his name? Vernon Jones.
Vernon Jones? What are he running for?
He's running for governor as a Republican. He's Trump's own boy.
Oh, I hope he do run.
Yeah, he's running against Kemp. He already on Kemp's tail.
I wish he do run. Yeah, he needs to run so we can beat him. He needs to run. He needs to run. Yeah, let him beat Kemp so we can beat him.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now, are there any Democrats running for governor that you all have heard about?
I don't know. I don't know what Stacey waiting on to announce.
No one officially, but you're right. Right.
Mhm.
Everyone is still they're still waiting. I guess they're all still negotiating as to what how they handle it.
So, because really, I'm gonna tell you, everybody's jumping in the race for that year because they think that Stacey is going to run and that they could be on the back of Stacey. But that, they got to be careful with that because if that was a fact that you could get elected off of her, then Daniel Blackman would be in office also.
Me and Daniel, like,
yeah, you're right. But
people don't believe
you
it
and Daniel,
down ballot. So
yeah, and wasn't enough exposure for you two. And then in the end, when Daniel went in and had the runoff, then it should have been a little bit more of them accepting him and putting it out, but they say they couldn't because one was a state campaign, one was a federal campaign. I don't really see no problem with that.
It was an easy,
and this has been the spinoff from that, or the residual from that
lineup. Right, if it was done correctly. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't difficult to do. I mean, but that's another topic because you know, at the end of the day, some people had the right mindset. You know, all three names on one sign. That's the type of thing you do. But again, I won't go on that direction. I have my own thoughts.
So could they have done that? Could they have put that in there? All three names on one?
I put like
have.
What you say, Jamal?
I said they could have.
Yeah, because who's going to stop me from doing that if I did it as a private citizen or as a private group or as a PAC?
That's it exactly.
What it takes is the statewide leadership understanding with the state. And I couldn't understand why you put all your eggs in these baskets and you got two important state seats available, and you just let it flounder. So
yes,
you know, that to me blew my mind. I just didn't understand it at all.
Yeah,
especially when you got two candidates that are sitting on millions, and the other two over here trying to just make it through.
Yeah.
Do you think that Georgia Power probably gave both of those campaigns big money and told them don't
go pull a report? Go pull a report.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And the way they thank you is by delaying Vogel. So anyway, we won't go there.
Yeah. That's another show, you're right.
That's a whole nother show. But so you know, I don't know much about the other
about labor secretary. I mean, labor secretary. We know we have our great senator, state senator Lester Jackson stepping in to fill that void.
Okay.
We don't know who might want to, what country boy we could get to run for agriculture We got one, I think, that came out. We did a good country boy wearing a cowboy hat. And, but for education secretary, I see recently, and this is what I try to tell people before I say this about the education secretary. We have to be careful that when you run for office and you lose, don't become absent for the next 3 years, then come again to run.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start working with the people in the communities, doing things. Your resume is not impressive enough because you lost.
Right.
So come and put in the work so that people can see you, so that they can vote for you and they can have other people vote for you. Now, education secretary, Arthur Thornton. I see that he has been popping up, lacking a bunch of stuff lately. Well, Arthur, you were who I was just talking about. You need to be in the community. You just can't come out every 4 years and say you want to run.
I agree.
You know, you need to be in the
You
community.
can't show up on election eve and you know, think folks are going to just jump on that bandwagon. That's not how how that works. So
Yeah, you got to stay relevant. You got to stay in the people. They got to see you. We are visual people. This is a visual world now because of social media and everything, and how fast news travels. This is a visual world. So you have to have people to see you doing things in the community that you care, not that you're trying to worry about the income. You want to worry about the outcome. And the only way that you can control the outcome is to be involved and engaged. So that's just my word. When you get into the Secretary of State, we got a bunch of people
yeah.
that has thrown their hat into the race. What's up with your girl Tamara Shealy? What is she? She's still sitting back wanting to run again, or is she thinking about some of these statewide offices? She was in the Ossoff race, wasn't she?
She was in that list of 500 for that.
With
Yeah.
Warnock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard much after that.
She got a weekly show.
Okay.
Comes on every Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been doing that. She's been promoting, yes. But then that comes down to getting a lot more information out about. So she has been out there. So she's been silent, but yes.
I think she'll be an awesome candidate for statewide office. First. I really do. She's put her foot out there in for U.S. office, but I think for one of the state offices, she'd be an awesome candidate. Secretary of State. Secretary of State of Georgia, and what's the other? AG, Attorney General. We need.
She is an attorney. Yeah.
Yeah. She's an attorney. So it's a positions for her. She just got to want to go after them, and then move on up. She's still young, but
I agree. Now,
moving
locally,
on to the local elections.
A few locals
we got
before we out there.
Huh?
I said, what are some local ones that we have in front of us?
I want to throw something out there and just ask a quick question. Mr. Thornton, Arthur Thornton, is he a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I just want the listening audience and viewing audience to check something out. And when Mr. Hall was given the account saying that Arthur needed to be more involved, a person then said, I agree. And that is Robert Bryant. Robert Bryant is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Robert Bryant did not take the position that, that's my frat brother, I'm not going to say anything. He went and agreed. That's how we supposed to function. That's intelligence. And that's fair. So I had to throw that out there. I want that to be acknowledged.
And this even goes to a local level. I was very clear on who endorsed and who didn't. And so, from a local level, reading to that, all the way on up to that, to to my good brother Thornton. Hey,
All
you know, that's a whole nother show too. It just chill out. It intrigued me. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna dig into that on another show.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a name for that show. You want my vote, you want my endorsement, but I can't get yours. Something
Look
like
here.
that.
And you know
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Even with Joyce Briggs, I question that. You know, we're down to one Democrat versus Buddy, and this person right here in your backyard, and you haven't endorsed her. All right, you got to come up for re-election. So hey, hey.
Yeah.
Well, at least you like to say I said it.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
So hey.
Yeah. Well, we got the Garden City. I don't know who we have in Bloomingdale. We're gonna have to check with the chair and see who we have in Bloomingdale on this side running, so we can change government all over this county and all over this state. We got Donna Williams and Rebecca Russell. Rebecca is thinking about getting in the Garden City race. I know Donna Williams is already in the Garden City. In Fort Wentworth, you have me running for mayor. You have 3 or 4 other people. We'll get into them pretty soon. I want to make sure that they want to announce that they are all in. But you got 3 or 4 other people. All the positions in Fort Wentworth is being challenged. So you don't have to worry about that. We are challenging here. We're going to make Fort Wentworth a better city. So they are being challenged here. So all we need is everybody to go out and vote and support us. But anyway, that's about our show for today. Awesome show with you guys. I appreciate Jamal coming on because I wanted to make sure that he understood that this is just a one day. Oh, he got his Jenkins shirt on too, man. Lord have mercy, have mercy. I tell you what. This Jenkins Memorial Day then.
That's fine. I tell you, at least I got on half the color.
All right, y'all Wolverines, y'all don't have to give me no call about what I just did. My good brother right there,
Lord.
you know, I had to support him. So y'all tune in next week. What's next week, Robert? We got some mental health part 2.
We're going to do part 2 of that mental health discussion. We'll have a licensed psychiatrist and our good friend from East Point, who is a mental health advocate, joining us. And then I think the week after that, talking about Senate Bill 22 and kind of digesting that. And it's a very interesting conversation that I've had. So definitely tune in for that.
Okay, we'll be there. We'll be here, and y'all stay tuned. We got it. Y'all don't forget, Run Tell That every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Our best show next to the Rabble. And then the Watchdogs.
That made him feel really good right now.
Yeah, that's my man. All right. So we're going to be out of here. And Crystal, you can take us out, and we'll see you next Saturday.